If someone were to ask you today, how would you define being healthy? I think to some degree, all of us are chasing being a healthier version of ourselves, but I think it's incredibly easy to get overwhelmed in this day and age with all the different influencers telling us exactly how to be healthy and what to do to get there. So today, I'm gonna break down my definition of health into 7 easy pillars. And listen, this isn't just for people who are into fitness or moms or dads or people who are school teachers or lawyers. This is for everybody, no matter who you are, what part of the world you're in, or even what stage of life you're in, this video is for you. And just so you guys know, before we dive into each of these 7 categories, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I've got 3 young kids, 5, 3, and 4 months old, and I'm also a business owner and someone who invests a lot of time into my community. And so why I decided to make this video and share like these 7 pillars is because this has helped me. This is stuff I wish I would have known when I was in my 20s and I was like, trying to figure out who I was and trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life and who I was going to marry or, how I was going to spend my time, how I was going to be a healthy human being, what I was going to define as being successful. These 7 pillars have helped me realign my value system in a way that makes me feel confident in what I'm doing with my life. And so for you, this is a great way, not just to show some areas you could obviously improve upon and maybe work on, but it's also going to give you a way to really understand like what you value in life. And so looking at each of these categories yourself, maybe taking some notes, writing these down, writing them down in your journal, journaling on them in the next few days might be a helpful way to go about digesting this information and putting it into some actionable, items that you can start executing on today. All right, so let's dive in. Number 1 is family. Family is one of the most important things in the world to me. Family is not just the people you're related to though. It's your community, it's your tribe, it's the people you spend time with, it's the people mentoring you and pouring into you every single day. So I think a lot of times we tend to overlook this part of our health. I think a lot of people these days struggle with loneliness. They're not connected to other human beings because of our devices, keeping them separated from the outside world. And so I think human interaction is at an all-time low. And I'm hoping that we start to trend away from that in the coming years with seeing how toxic it's been on our culture. But at the end of the day, getting your eyes up, meeting new people, whether it's on the way to work, whether it's the people you work with, whether you go to school, or maybe it's the people at your church, wherever you can find community, find family, be a family to other people. It's such an enriching part of your life. So that's number 1. Number 2 is fitness. Now, fitness has to be on this list. And the reason why is I've been a personal trainer for 7 years now. I've worked with thousands of people. Fitness is, I would say, one of the biggest catalysts for change in someone's life. And what I mean by that is when someone gets more fit, when they get stronger, when they, reduce their body fat composition, when they start taking care of their bodies, they become a more confident and a more capable version of themselves. And people notice that. It gives them confidence. It can improve people's marriage. It can improve their energy levels. It can improve their capacity to show up at work. Fitness spills into every aspect of your life. So I think that you have to throw this on the list because it is such an important part of who we are and what we're here to do. We're made to interact with the world around us. And if you're physically unable to, just because you're not taking care of your fitness, then this is definitely a category I think you should invest time in. If you want more resources on that, I actually have a free guide listed in the description. It's a 7-day free program. It'll give you some free workouts, 4 free mobility routines, and a nutrition guide that you guys can go swipe. It's in the description. Check it out. All you gotta do is put your name and email, and I'll shoot it right over to your email inbox. All right, so that's number 2. Number 3 is your faith. Now, before you guys go running away and thinking that I'm about to give you guys a sermon, please stay and hear me out here. When I say faith, I'm not just talking about the Christian faith. If you're in the United States, you might think that that's like what faith means. It's not. It simply means, what does your spiritual life look like? What is your spiritual relationship to potentially believing in a higher being, whatever that might be, or maybe the world around you? There's all sorts of ways that you can be a spiritual being. It's not just being a Christian or being Jewish or being Muslim. All of those things are spiritual practices, but faith alone is definitely more than just your religious practices and like what you're doing from a religious standpoint. It's what you believe in. It's a posture that there is maybe more to this life than just what we're doing here on earth. And it allows you to, I think, it introduces an element of gratitude. It introduces an element of wonder about the world that we live in, and kind of, puts you into a childlike state. So spending time in meditation and prayer every single day is a massive part of, really getting grounded in who you are and what you believe in. And I think faith is a part of that. Number 4, right over here, is food. Food is our fuel. Food is how we get energy. It's the things that we put into our body so that we can do what we want to do with our body. I'm going to keep this one short and simple because I'm not a nutritionist, but I do coach people on making healthier decisions with their food and nutrition. And specifically this one, there's a couple of things that I would say. Number 1 is control your caloric intake. Your caloric intake is basically going to directly affect what your body composition looks like. Obviously, there's other things that affect that, but if you are eating a caloric surplus, if you're getting more energy put into your body a day than you're expending, then you're going to gain weight. You're going to gain body fat likely. And so you're going to become more unhealthy over time. Now, if you eat less than what your body is putting out every single day, then you're going to lose weight. So that's the way that you can lose weight and get down to the body composition that you want to be and the body composition that's going to be healthiest for you. The second thing is make sure that you're eating plenty of protein a day. I think the easiest calculation for this one is not 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, because I think that grossly overestimates how much protein you should be eating a day, especially if you're someone who is overweight. I think a much easier way to do this is looking at your lean body mass. So what your body is without the body fat on it. 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body mass typically gets you in a pretty healthy range, or you can just use about 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight. And then the third and final thing is doing the 80-20 principle. And I know this is super cliche, but 80% of the time, if you think about the meals that you eat across a week, if 80% of the time those are primarily composed of whole foods, and then 20% of the time you enjoy yourself, and again, you're controlling for caloric consumption and your protein intake, you're gonna be in a really good spot. Once again, guys, a lot more practical information on diet specifically in that link in the description with my 7-day free guide. Go download it if you guys wanna learn more about what you should be eating each day. Let's dive into number 5, and that is finances. Now, obviously, again, I'm not an expert in finance. In fact, I've made a lot of really stupid financial decisions in my life, which is why this is one of the categories I'm focused on a lot this year in 2026, making sure that my family's taken care of. I've got all these different things in place, safety nets in place that helps us have a bright future financially. But I think finance has to be factored into the equation. And it doesn't mean that you have to be a millionaire. In fact, I think quite the opposite. It does not mean you have to be a millionaire. It just means that you have to be intentional with the resources that you're given each and every day. Now, I'm very privileged on the place that I'm at in life, what I do for a living, the amount of money and wealth that I've been able to create. But at the end of the day, if I squander all of that buying stupid bullshit, then none of this would matter. The fact that I, make the amount of money that I make would not matter. I still drive the same car that I drove 10 years ago. It's a Subaru Outback. It's got 150,000 miles on it, and it's fully paid off. And the reason I still drive that is because I don't need a fancy car to get around town. It gets me from point A to point B. It's still a very safe car, and it allows us to have the financial freedom to continue to invest in other things and other areas of our life. So if you are struggling with your finances, go find a financial advisor, someone else that knows way more about money than I do. This is just a pillar that you've got to consider and look at and get in check. Number 6 is maybe one of my favorite pillars of this entire thing, and it's one that I feel like no one else talks about, and it's fun. When's the last time you just had a little fun? Had a hobby, had interest beyond just working out or going to church or going to work, right? And obviously, it's a privilege to have hobbies. I think that, some people are not in the financial situation or to where they have enough time in the day to have little hobbies that they go out and do. But if you are, you've got no excuses. You've got to find things that are fun, that you enjoy doing, that get your body moving, that get you out in nature, that get you around people. Like for me, I love surfing. That's one of my favorite ways to interact with the environment and in nature, is being on the ocean, typically with my buddies, but sometimes just by myself, out on the water, surfing, being in creation. That is one of my favorite things of all time, and I absolutely love it. I don't get to do it as often as I'd like to, living here in Florida. That is a massive thing for me. Getting around people. Another thing I've started doing recently is jujitsu, and it's been a complete blast. I grew up wrestling. I wrestled for 10 years growing up in the state of Oklahoma, and so diving into jujitsu wasn't exactly a foreign thing for me, but it's much different than wrestling. And if you're a wrestler and you've done jujitsu, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But it's something that's gotten my body active. I do it once or twice a week. It's been a total blast so far. I get humbled every single time I go, and The community inside of the jiu-jitsu gym that I go to is unbelievable. Some of the best guys I've ever met. Find something you have fun doing, ideally something that gets you out in nature or around other people, and zone in on that. In 2026, find a gym to get plugged into. Find a hobby, find a martial art you want to go do. Find a place to go hike, go surfing, go skateboard, do whatever you guys enjoy doing outside. Dial in on it and do it more often. Try and do it as often as you can. All right, guys, and number 7 is function. What is your function in life? And I think that this actually ties all of these other 6 things together. And the reason being is your function is your mission. It's what you're here to do. It's not just who you are at work. It's not just the role you play at home as mom or dad or your husband or wife. It's who you are, what your mission is in life, and how you can show up as that person. And to me, I think that when you look at all these other 6 areas, if you don't have all these other things dialed in, being able to function at your highest level is going to be really, really difficult. So to me, this is why this kind of culminates this entire thing. Your function is a part of who you are, your goal, your mission in life, and how you're going to become the person that you're made to be. So that is the 7 pillars of a healthy human. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and please drop me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. I don't normally make content like this, so this was a little outside my wheelhouse, but I had a blast preparing for this. I literally was journaling about it the past few days, and I was like, you know what? I need to just make a YouTube video out of it. So if you guys enjoyed it, let me know. Love you guys. Thanks for being here. We'll see you guys on the next one.